How did you get involved with UBU?
Well, it's a very old, long story, Kieran. Back in 2016, when I came here as an international student, I was feeling isolated at the time because I moved countries to be in the UK to do my degree. And a friend of mine actually recommended me to go in the Students' Union and find out more of what they do. And I was here, and I spoke with different staff members, different student staff, and I was given so many opportunities to join societies and sports. And this is something that has helped me grow as an individual, because I've been in Students' Union long enough that have helped me to gain a lot of skills.
Okay, so what kind of skills have you developed?
Skills such as transferable and interpersonal skills. Skills that range from being an effective communicator, making sure that you're a good team worker, and a sense of working in collaboration is something that I've gained from Students' Union, and these are the things that are going to stay with me. Lastly, one of the most important things I've learned is how to be a professional and be in a corporate life. Although University of Bradford Students' Union is a charity, but yet you get to learn a lot about professionalism and how to conduct day-to-day office activities. And these are the things that I've learned, and I think these things are going to stay with me for life. Wherever I go, whatever I do next, I think the next workplace that I'll go to, I'll definitely benefit from some of the things I've learned here.
What would you hope next year's team will be able to work on?
Well, it's an interesting year, Kieran, especially after COVID, how things have changed, how universities changed. Universities evolved in a way that we're approaching towards this hybrid model where there's some online and on-campus lectures. So the next sabbatical team have got a huge job at hand. The first job is to make sure that the settling period for students who've just come out of that isolating period and now being in university, which is on campus. So there's always be that gap that sabbatical officers will have to fill. They'll have to act as a bridge between students and senior management staff members such as the Vice Chancellor, the Secretary, the Academic Registrar, to make sure that the student voices are heard at the senior most level, and any concerns that the student have is communicated to the senior management so that the policy, when implemented, is in the favour of students. And that, I think, is a big responsibility for all 4 sabbatical officers, to make sure that that representative of the students and lead the Students' Union in a way which is moving towards progression and better opportunities for students.
Speaking of progress, earlier on you mentioned that you were excited about student numbers increasing.
Yeah, with so many number of students that have joined University of Bradford in January intake, predicted numbers are about 700 international students joining us on different courses, which is exciting. Just imagine if this is for January intake, then what are the numbers going to be for September intake? And that is something that sabbatical officers need to consider once they start their office, because high student numbers mean higher complex problems that sabbatical officers will have to solve. But I'm sure it'll be an exciting year with more students to interact with more volunteers to approach, and with more opportunities for students.
So when you're working as a sabbatical, you've got a whole team of council members to help you?
Council members are great. We've got different council members such as International Students Officer, BME Officer, Postgraduate Officer, LGBT plus Officer. These people not only help us in doing our jobs better, but help us in finding out how students are feeling from different cohorts. As a student leader in council, you act as a collective voice for different cohorts of students, which we can then take on to the senior management and raise those concerns. If students are raising voice against something that's going wrong in university, then these council members help us to collect views and diverse views from different cohorts of students, and this really helps us in doing our jobs and makes our lives easier. This is something that I quite like about UBU, that they've got a very clear structure. The structure itself helps us in doing our jobs better. And also, the council members gain a lot of skills, as I've mentioned before. So it's a good opportunity. And I quite like working with council members because those are the most dedicated students you can find on campus.
Fantastic. So if somebody was thinking about nominating themselves in the election, by 4 p.m. on Friday, but they weren't quite sure, what would you say to just convince them that it's a great opportunity?
Well, first of all, if you're not sure, come to me and we can have a chat. Secondly, think about the opportunities available to you. Think about your CV. Think about how many skills and how many interactions you're going to have once you're in that leadership role. And think about what you want to do afterwards, because these things are going to help you in your life ahead. When you want to go work for a company, those skills you'll already gain from these roles. And this is the point of doing these roles. So I know it's hard. It seems hard at the start, but it gets easier and you'll enjoy the role once you get into it.
Thanks, Inshall.
Thank you, Kieran.